All right, class, first we dissect, then eat. This biology teacher had a side job as a chef, and apparently he was pretty good. Well, the kids in his biology class would frequently have these days, dissection days, where you would dissect frogs, cats, I don't know. But most of the time, the teacher would order a bunch of squid from the local market. The squid would be thawed out, raw, and passed out to every student. All right, you should all have a worksheet and a squid. You have 25 minutes. Get to dissect it. Everybody would dissect the squids. They would use the ink to write messages to each other. It sounds kind of fun if you like that kind of stuff. But then the teacher would do something different. He would pull out a George Foreman portable grill from underneath his desk, plug it in, and preheat that baby. Then he would collect all these squids from each lab table, bring them up, season them, and toss them on the grill. Oh, it's smelling good. The first time he did this, the students thought he was absolutely insane. They're like, there's no way we're gonna eat that. But then someone tried it. Wait, that's actually good. Let me try. That is good. I guess the way he cooked this squid was just delectable, and they were constantly looking forward to these days. And although it sounds weird, I think that's a good teacher. This kid's not all there. I'm thirsty. But he wanted to focus really hard on this spelling test. He didn't want to be distracted by taking a sip of water or asking to go get some. So this was his brilliant idea. He went to the water fountain before class. He got a very big gulp of water and left it in his mouth. He heard that this is what the squirrels do. They put nuts in their mouth and they save them for later. Well, that was his idea, but with water. So now he's sitting in class. The teacher's naming the words, and he's writing the spelling down with a bunch of water in his mouth. All right, class, your next word is fortitude. His plan was to take small, tiny gulps throughout the test, so he never went thirsty. Well, about 2 minutes into the test, his cheeks give way, and a bunch of water just falls right on his desk. The test and the desk were soaked. Water was now spilling on the floor, and other kids noticed. The teacher walks over. Why is there a bunch of water on your desk and the floor? The kid didn't know how to respond, so he just looks her in the eyes and said, I have no idea. The teacher was so confused by that answer that she just walked away. No more questions were asked. He failed that spelling test. What? This is what happens when your math teacher sucks. This guy's kid is in 4th grade, and she's been having trouble in math. The whole year she's struggled, but when they got to multiplication and division, she struggled even more. I just don't understand it, Dad. I know, let's just try it again. The thing is, she just doesn't understand the method they're teaching, and it doesn't sound easy. So for multiplying, it's a bunch of steps. You break up the numbers, you draw boxes, then you multiply and then add them together. Something like that. And she gets these problems wrong like 90% of the time. So the dad's like, you know what? I'm gonna teach you the way that I learned how to do multiplication. She's like, okay. And guess what? Oh, Dad, I understand it. She under-frickin-stands it. Homework is a million times easier now because she learned it and she's actually solving the problems. Well, here's the issue. His daughter had a math test a few weeks ago, and she came home very upset. Dad, I failed. What? Let me see your test. She got a 50%, even though she only got 2 problems wrong. Technically, it should have been a 92%. So he goes into school and he has a conversation with the teacher. Can you explain why my daughter failed? The teacher says, yes, it's because she didn't use the method that I taught in this class. Excuse me? The dad pointed out that the test just says to show you work. It doesn't say to use a specific method. But she said, well, that's too bad. I taught my method to these students for a reason. Your daughter didn't use it. So she fails. Oh, the dad was furious. He went to the principal. He admits that he made it a pretty big deal. What are you guys teaching in the school, huh? Some bogus way to do multiplication? It's so much easier than that. Now my daughter's failing even though she got a 92% on the test. Except with a lot more yelling. The principal called the teacher in and forced her to change the girl's grade to an A. The principal then apologized to the dad and said, it won't happen again. Better not. But for real, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. The biggest loss of aura in school history. This kid built his whole reputation off of basketball. He wasn't on the team, but he would always say he was really good. He carried a basketball around with him everywhere. Hey, what's up, guys? At lunch or in class, whenever he was chilling, he would be spinning the ball on his finger. Yo, check this out. Cool, huh? And people did think it was cool. And he would always say, no, I don't want to be on the basketball team. Too much commitment. I just play in my backyard. Oh, okay. Yeah. The team is trash, though, anyway. Then the pep rally comes up. The principal goes, alrighty, students, now it's time for the free throw challenge. Let's get somebody who's not on the team up here. See what you can do. And everybody volunteers this kid. Hey, come on, man. He'll do it. Yeah, he'll totally do it. The entire school knows him, so the entire gym is cheering so loudly. This kid gets up there. He's already got a basketball with him. Right. Takes his first shot. and he misses. Crowd's like, what? He brushes it off. It's a joke. It's a joke. Give me the ball. Misses again. And again. And again. He can't make one hoop. Now the cheers stopped. And the laughing began. Everyone's yelling at him, calling him a fraud, calling him a loser. Dude, you actually suck. He sucks. Kid begins crying. He was all talk. Forever. Everyone thought he was a basketball god. Turns out, he's trash. He runs out of the gym, and he never comes to school with a basketball ever again. When she was a teenager, her dad was driving her to work at Dairy Queen. They're in the car. All right, sweetie, this is gonna be a good day. Ugh, I hate working. It's a normal ride so far. Then, out of nowhere, this woman cuts them off on the road. Most people just honk, and then move on, but not this dad. He locks in, and he chases her down. They finally get to this red light. He pulls up to the right of her. Rolls his window down, and leaps out of the car right under her windshield. Apologize to me right now! Apologize to me right now! Screaming, flailing, right on her windshield. Now, he didn't put the car in park, so you know when you're not driving, the car just goes by itself very slowly. So this girl is in the car, her dad's on somebody else's car, and the car is just rolling slowly into the intersection. So she has to put her foot over the driver's seat and press the gas herself. Once her dad calms down, he gets back in the car and drives her to work like nothing happened. Have a good day, sweetie. Later that night, when everybody's home, they get a knock on the door while they're watching TV. I'll get it. It's the police. Hi, is your dad home? Dad, you're going to jail. And he was arrested. Makes sense. Every kid has a moving out phase. On this day, this kid's mom was yelling at him, telling him to clean his room, eat his broccoli, normal stuff. But he got fed up. Fine, if my room is so messy, I'm moving out. And he expected his mom to cry and be like, no, don't move out, I'm so sorry. The mom just said, okay, the suitcase is in the attic. Suddenly, she called his bluff. Okay, I'm gonna go get it. He knows she called his bluff, but he wants to see how far he can take it, so he starts packing. Then suddenly, the mom is helping him pack. Oh, don't forget your toothbrush, honey. I'll even drive you to the end of the street if you want. I'll pack you a sandwich too, so you don't starve tonight. No, it's fine, I'll walk. Now, 5 minutes later, this kid's standing at the edge of the driveway with his suitcase full of random stuff his mom helped him pack. His mom locked the front door. Closed the garage. Kid begins to walk away, hoping that they're watching him, hoping they'll beg for him to come back. But they don't. So he turns around, knocks on the door. Oh, hi, sweetie. Did you forget something? I don't want to move out, Mom. I'll clean my room. The room gets cleaned in record time. Has this ever happened to any of you guys? Meet Johnny. Johnny thought he was the smartest kid in the 7th grade. He spent all Monday night practicing his fake stomach pains. Ooh, something kind of hurts. I hope I'm not getting sick. I hope you feel better, sweetie. Well, it works, because on Tuesday morning, his mom fell for it. Oh, Mom, the pain is worse. Oh, my poor baby. Well, I'm heading to work. I'll call you into school. Stay home. Get some rest. Okay. He felt like he pulled off the heist of a century. Spent all day playing video games, thinking to himself, my friends are probably so jealous of me right now. Well, the next morning, he goes back to school. Walks in like a king. What's up, guys? The second he gets into the building, he stops. The floors look extra shiny. Everyone's huddled in different groups, watching a video on their phone. He sees his friends. Yo, what's up? His friend says, bro, you picked the worst day to be sick. Apparently, during 3rd period the day before, there was supposed to be a routine fire drill. But it wasn't just the alarm that went off. Something malfunctioned, and the sprinklers in the main hallway went off. We're talking gallons and gallons and gallons of water hitting those floors. One kid even took the bathroom soap and sprayed it on the floors as the sprinklers were coming down. Slip and slide! The best part was, it was 100 degrees outside, so this felt awesome. Teachers were sliding, the principal slipped, the weird kid from class used a lunch tray as a boogie board. Everybody went home soaking wet. But they said it was the best day of school ever, and that's all anyone talked about for years. There was Johnny. Oh, that sounds fun. It was amazing. Hope you're feeling better, by the way. Oof. Tough break. Every school has that one kid who is super talented at something random. At this one school, his name was Marcus, and he was amazing at flipping water bottles, but not the normal way. He was able to flip these water bottles and have them land on their cap on crazy surfaces, like the edge of a chalkboard. Watch this. Nice. He made it look so effortless that this one kid in his class wanted to try it for himself. It was study hall, very quiet, and he's sitting there. He's got a half-empty Gatorade bottle, and he's thinking to himself, this is my chance. I'm gonna flip this bottle, land it on its cap on the teacher's desk. You see, Marcus was in this study hall as well. Oh, this kid went for it, gave it a flip. Marcus is gonna be so impressed. Here we go. It was like slow motion. Flip, flip, flip. But suddenly, the cap fell off. He didn't tighten it enough. And this Gatorade spills all over the teacher's desk. What the heck is your problem? He panicked. Marcus did it, Marcus said. But no, I didn't, bro. The teacher said, yeah, I don't believe that. Marcus is a god at flipping bottles. Teacher knew how good Marcus was. He didn't believe this kid for a second. I'll take myself to the office. Yeah, that's a good idea. Tough break. This school had a villain. A mayonnaise villain. Every few days, students would be walking up the main staircase when you would hear, ugh, gross. Somebody would scream, hold up their hand, and it would be covered in mayonnaise. The mayonnaise wouldn't be on top of the railing, it would be underneath. It started in the cafeteria stairwell. Then it spread. Math hallway, science wing, became a problem. You'd think that they would install cameras or that they would have cameras in the stairwells, but they didn't. So now everyone's terrified of touching railings because obviously some kid has been taking mayonnaise and smearing it under the railings in every single staircase in the school. And it wasn't like a little bit of mayonnaise. It was a lot. Kids are just walking up the stairs now with their hands to their sides because no one's going to touch that stuff. And nobody knows who's doing this. The janitors are mad. The teachers are furious. The principal makes an announcement. Please, whoever's putting mayonnaise under the railings, stop it! It never stops. There was breaks for a few months, but it never stopped. Until one day, it did. 2 years later. And people assume it's because the mayonnaise bandit graduated. But even still, after that, the legend lives on forever. That's disgusting. Yo, this backfired. This happened during a school test. This kid's about to get started, but this girl, his bully, says this to him right before. Hey, loser, I'm gonna cheat off you. This is the same girl that's been bullying him for years. But this time he has a plan. He just says, sure. Well, what this girl didn't know was that this kid got extra time on exams. So on test days, when class ends, most kids leave, but he still has an extra 30 minutes to finish the test. I had this in school as well. So here's what he did. The exam starts, and she's cheating off his test. Answer for answer. Identical. Well, for the first hour of the exam, he's answering everything wrong. Even the short answers. Stuff like, what is inflation? He puts, when a balloon gets bigger. So the second she finishes copying, she stands up, turns her test in, and done. Thanks, idiot. And walks out of the room all cocky, super smug. Well, at this point, everybody else had left. And now he begins his extra test time. He erases his entire test and fills everything back in with the correct answers. Perfect. A week later, they get their test back. He gets 100%. She gets a 0 because he purposely made every question completely wrong. This makes no sense. What's wrong? Oh, 0? That sucks. I got 100. Who's the idiot now? Hey, don't underestimate me. She was so mad, but from that day on, she rarely bullied him anymore. Because obviously this kid was 10 steps ahead. He's a genius for this. Worst teachers of all time. When this person was in high school, they were in German class one day, and they had a substitute. This sub was very quiet, and she couldn't control the class at all. The class got very, very rowdy, but she continued writing stuff on the board and talking very quietly. After 15 minutes, she just scribbled nonsense on the board and mumbled to herself. She then angrily threw her pen on the ground and ran out of the classroom. She was found in the library, huddled up into a ball and crying under a table. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. A kid at this guy's school knew how to pick locks, and he was pretty good at it. Well, one day, he had an idea for how to make some extra money. He started telling everybody in his school that he knew how to pick locks, and if they ever wanted to break into somebody's locker and steal something, they could always come to him. He would charge $5 to pick one lock and $8 to pick two, and business was booming. Apparently, that school was filled with a bunch of thieves. Well, as you can imagine, one day, a teacher caught him in the act. He was forced to pay the school $1,200 in damages, and he had to somehow return all of the items that people had stolen from other kids. The most interesting book club of all time. The Fallen Angels Book Club is what it's called. And there's only 2 requirements to join this book club. You must love books and have a white-collar criminal record. Now, the book club mainly reads and discusses murder mysteries. But what would happen if the day after one of your book club gatherings, one of the members died the exact same way as the character in the book? It's interesting because was it a true crime addict that was copying the book? Was it one of the book club members? They are all criminals after all. But all I know is that this concept is incredibly interesting, and that's why you should tune into Lifetime, The Fallen Angels Murder Club, Saturday, April 2nd at 8/7 Central. Ever since I saw this movie, I have not been able to stop thinking about it. You won't regret it. Black markets kids ran in their schools. At one elementary school, everyone loved cinnamon-flavored toothpicks. And this kid realized at his house he had bags of hundreds and hundreds of cinnamon-flavored toothpicks. So he had an idea. He brought them to school and started selling them for 25 cents each. Immediately, business was booming. He had tons of customers every single day. He then decided to raise the price of these toothpicks from 25 cents to $1. And as ridiculous as that sounds, kids that could afford it were still paying for cinnamon-flavored toothpicks. In total, he made about $150, which is not bad for someone in elementary school. So this girl's about to start high school, 9th grade. New school, new classes, and she just got her course selection sheet for the next year. She fills it out on her own. She just picks what she wants to take. You know, she doesn't want to overwhelm herself, which I totally get. It's her first year in a brand new school. It's high school, you know, and she's just trying to get through the transition without drowning in homework. Yeah, I would do the same. A few days later, her mom finds the form, and she loses it. Why did you pick all the easiest courses? What happened to preparing for college? Mom, I picked all the easy ones because I don't want to drown in work. It's high school, and I'm not even sure if I want to go to university yet. She didn't say she's dropping out. She didn't say that she's never going to learn again. She just said, I'm 13, Mom, I just don't know. But that's not enough for her mom. Her mom is accusing her of slacking, saying she's just trying to avoid homework. Then she notices that she didn't sign up for music class, and she flips out again. Why didn't you sign up for music class? You are so good at music. Because if I take music, I have to join the band, and band practice is at 5 a.m., Mom. So? She's 13. She doesn't want honors classes and pre-sunrise saxophone rehearsals. The mom ended up forcing her to take the classes that she wanted her to take, which, in my opinion, is so messed up. And I just want to tell her, don't be confused when your daughter doesn't want to talk to you in 5 years. It started as a punishment. This one school made a new rule called silent lunch. No talking, no whispering, no noise. Principal said it was to help students reset their behavior. But it didn't reset anything. It just made kids miserable. Lunch felt like a detention. Everybody just sat there, chewing, in complete silence. Plastic spoons hitting trays, a single juice box slurp from down the way. But this one kid, he had an idea. The next day, he walked in quietly. He opened his lunchbox, and he pressed a button on this little speaker. It was bird sounds, like the kind you hear in nature. It wasn't music, it was like a calm forest vibe. The teachers looked over, but they didn't say anything. Technically wasn't talking, and it technically wasn't breaking the rules. So he did it again and again. By the end of the week, 3 other kids were bringing in their speakers as well. One kid played rainforest noises, another kid played waterfall sounds. This one dude was playing a recording of whale noises. And the wild part, it worked. The lunchroom got calmer, but not in a weird way. It felt peaceful. Students were sitting in silence, eating to ambient waterfall loops and jungle bird noises. The teachers were like, honestly, this is not bad. People were loving this. The next week, the principal walked in and froze. The lights were dim. Some kid brought a lava lamp. And this lunchroom, this silent lunchroom, had turned into a full-blown spa. He just stood there blinking, smiled to himself, turned around and left. He thought, maybe I actually did something here. This is nice. And no one said a word. You know, that's actually amazing. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. This one kid's dad always had a shopping list on the fridge. And whenever he wanted something, he could add it to the shopping list, as long as it wasn't candy. Well, he wanted to start selling candy at school, so what he did was he would put ingredients to make candy on the shopping list. And then when his dad would come back from shopping, he would take the ingredients and make this type of homemade candy. He would then divvy the candy up and put it into plastic bags, bring it to school, and sell it to students. Right away, kids loved this stuff. They said it was addicting. And when he realized kids loved this stuff so much, he was raising the prices. And people still paid. The entire time he was selling, business was booming. I don't know if he was shut down or if he's still running this, but he made some really good money. So this one guy's at Lowe's, and he's shopping solo. DIY plumbing situation. He's in the aisle looking for parts. He's totally zoned in. When, out of nowhere, he kind of tweaks and had a little freak out moment. Turns out, it was a yellow lab. The dog sniffed him. That's it, just a little snout boop. Nothing more. But this guy spins around like, what the hell, man? And the dog owner is like, you'll be alright, man, chill. Now, any normal person would have taken a breath and been like, okay, yeah, you're right. Hi, what a good boy, you know? But this guy loses it. That is not your call to make. Don't tell me I'll be alright. Are you kidding me? He's just full-blown going off on this dude. And the guy calmly says this. You know Lowe's is dog-friendly, right? He sniffed you, man. Big deal. You're just being a jackass now. And our guy says this right before he walks away. Off. He grabs his stuff. He storms to customer service. I want to file a complaint. About what? A dog sniffed me. So yeah, he left mad, still very much heated, over a dog sniff. Imagine being that guy. So when this guy was in high school, the school's bulldog statue, big metal full-on mascot, just vanished. Gone overnight. The next day it was just an empty base and rumors were spreading. The rival school took it. It's gotta be a senior prank. One teacher said it was melted for scrap. What a dumb rumor. Well, fast forward 15 years, this one guy was having a beer with his older brother. His older brother was a very quiet, low-profile guy in high school. When all of a sudden, his brother said, "Hey, remember that bulldog statue in high school?" "Yeah, I hit it with my truck. It was me." "You what?" Apparently, it was late at night. He was doing donuts in the school parking lot. And boom. Oh, God. The bulldog goes flying off the platform, and instead of owning up to this, he panics. He grabs the statue and tosses it in his trunk like it's a frickin' body. He drives it out to the woods. There's this little bridge by their old house. He parks by it, takes the bulldog out of the trunk, walks to the bridge, and looks around. "I'm sorry, buddy." And dumps it. Bulldog sinks to the bottom of the river. Gone forever. Honestly, that is legendary behavior. One day at school, two girls started throwing hands in the lunch line over a yogurt. One single cup of strawberry chobani. Lunch was already chaotic that day. They ran out of chicken sandwiches early and the drink cooler was broken. So everybody's tense. Then a senior cuts the line and grabs the last yogurt off the tray. Another girl behind her goes, "Yo, that's mine. You didn't pay for it yet." "Yeah, but I was next. You cut me." They go back and forth, then suddenly, boom. Tray gets smacked, yogurt hits the floor and explodes everywhere. And then, it begins. A full-blown fight cuts loose. Security's still halfway across the lunchroom trying to make their way. People are gathering, phones out recording this. But in the dead background, you can see Mrs. Jenkins, the school principal, standing there, arms crossed, definitely invested in this fight. Hey, cut it out. Kids are yelling, "Hey, somebody should stop them. Mrs. Jenkins, do something." "I'm observing, okay? Security's coming, it's fine." "Ladies, please." The girls get pulled apart. Nobody is seriously hurt. Just a busted lip and a ripped backpack. But the footage hits Snapchat that afternoon with the caption, "Mrs. Jenkins ringside." Nobody got suspended, just a couple detentions were handed out. For the rest of the year, whenever kids saw Mrs. Jenkins in the cafeteria, they would chuckle to themselves. "Look at Mrs. Jenkins. She's only here because she wants to see round 2. Can't blame her. Can't blame her. "I left my phone in the bathroom." "Go ahead, sweetie, just hurry back." There it is, the trick. It didn't work on anybody else, but Miss Carter, she was the golden ticket. Every week, it was the same move. 4th period, same delivery. "I think I left my phone in the bathroom. I think I left my phone in gym class. I think my phone's in the cafeteria." She always believed him. She never asked for follow-ups. So this kid would disappear for 10, 15 minutes. He would hit the vending machine. He would chill in the hallway. And this never failed until it did. On Friday, he pulls the move. "Miss Carter, I left my... Go check, just hurry up." Boom, gone. He does the thing. He's strolling the hallways. Goes to the vending machine, his normal routine. Well, 10 minutes later, he comes back to class, and she's lecturing about something. He tunes out. After being completely spaced out for a couple of minutes, he then, dead serious, raises his hand and goes, "Miss Carter, I think I left my phone in the bathroom." The class freezes. Didn't he just do that? Wait, you left it again? The same phone? He completely spaced out. He did it for a second time in one class. He's cooked. I think I've been played. This kid gets written up, and that trick never worked ever again. Nice try though, kid. This kid got in trouble for running in the sandbox. Not fighting, not throwing sand, running. He was in 1st grade, and apparently the school had a rule. No running in the sandbox. Well, this kid always got very excited to play, like a kid should. It's recess, there's a sandbox, I would be excited as well. And he got punished for it. Not just once, they gave this kid over 20 detentions for running in a sandbox in 1st grade. And then, at the end of the year, the school planned a field trip. But the principal says to this kid, "You've had too many infractions. You cannot attend the field trip." So the parents say, "This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe the school is doing this. You know what? Let's take him ourselves. So they take him. Same place, same day. They bought their own tickets. I think it was like a zoo or something. Well, the school finds out. They see him at this place. And the principal suspends the kid on the last day of school because he showed up to the same place as the school field trip with his parents. So instead of going to the last day of school, this kid's grandma took him shopping at the mall. And honestly, that sounds way better. What kind of school is this? If your phone goes off in class, you might get arrested. This school had a strict no phone policy. You couldn't even have your phone on you. Not in your pocket, not in your bag, nothing. But the real rule, if a phone rang, audibly buzzed, or dinged during class, the entire room had to stand up, hands on their head, and wait. So, you see, 50 years ago, they invented broccoli. Alright, stand up. They would then send in a school officer to search every single student. Pocket checks, bag checks, didn't matter. Everybody was getting searched. And if you didn't comply, or if they found your phone, incarceration may result. That's what the handbook said, meaning you might get arrested, which doesn't make sense. And I want to remind you guys, this is a real story. So one day in third period, somebody's phone rings loudly. Everybody up, hands in your heads. The officer comes in. Well, one kid isn't standing up. Stand up. Eat my shorts, idiot. Excuse me? I said eat my shorts, big man. That's it. Get up. And they arrested the kid. Yes, I know he was talking back to him, but still, I don't know where this school got off or what kind of law they were writing on, but this entire thing just doesn't seem okay. You are stealing from the school. I'm charging my phone. Exactly. This kid plugs his phone into the wall outlet during class. It wasn't a distraction. His phone just had low battery, and they were doing a free work period, so what's the big deal? Well, the teacher sees this and loses it. Unplug that now. You are stealing school electricity. It's a phone charger. Unplug it or you're suspended and will bill you for the power you used. He thinks there's no way that the school would go that far, so he doesn't unplug his phone. But the school, they wanted to punish him. They were ready. He gets called to the office the next day. Official suspension. And he got a notice to appear before a disciplinary committee. What? All this for using the wall outlet in class. So he shows up. Calm, silent. Well, young man, theft is theft, no matter how small. Cool. Here's 10 cents. Keep the change. Excuse me, you're not done here. Oh, yes, I am. Bye. And he walks out. He didn't do that as an actual payment. He did it as a statement because the electricity he used probably cost the school less than a penny, and he gave them 10 times that just to show how ridiculous this all was. And just to punish him and make an example out of him, the school district spent hundreds of dollars filling out forms, calling this meeting, filing reports just to punish him. So they're the real losers in this fight. And this kid just walked out, no care in the world. What an absolute legend. Have your parents ever embarrassed you? Listen to this story. So this family's at the mall. A mom and her 2 kids. They grab 3 lemonades from a pretzel stand, take them to the food court, order some pizza. Normal day at the mall. Sounds lovely to me. Well, the lemonade tastes off. Not like poison, just like a weird lemonade. But the kids? Yeah, they're thirsty. So they drink all of it anyway, but the mom, she doesn't. She takes 1 sip and she's done. This lemonade's disgusting. Why would they serve this? She's just complaining about it the entire time they're eating. So after their meal, she drags both of her kids back to that pretzel stand. Yeah, hi, I want a refund for all 3 of these lemonades. They were absolutely horrible. The cashier goes, hey, listen, I totally get it. Since you didn't drink yours, I'll refund that one, but your kids drank theirs, so I can't refund theirs. I mean, seems reasonable, right? Nope. The mom snaps. Full-blown meltdown. You think this is fair? Huh? I want my money back for all 3 lemonades. I can't, lady. I can give you some coupons, but that's it. Doesn't help at all. The mom is still going off, and the kids are begging her to stop. Mom, please stop it. It's so embarrassing. Let's go. Let's go, Mom, please. The mom eventually storms off, and they all get in the car. And the whole ride home, the mom's like, you guys made me look stupid. Why did you drink your lemonade? Now they think I'm some sort of joke. I mean, yeah, they probably do. Because you were acting like a fool in the middle of the mall. That's crazy. The worst part of a sleepover was the morning. You're tired, the air smells weird, your friend is always sleeping longer than you are, so you have to deal with their parents. I hated that. Well, this one kid shared a story about a sleepover he went to when he was a kid. They wake up. His friend asks, so you want to stay for breakfast? Sure. Honestly, he should have left right then and there. That was a trap. He could have dipped, but instead, he's eating boiled spinach, microwaved eggs, and a glass of milk. The worst combo of all time. Why was this kid's parents making that for breakfast? I don't know. You like it, sweetie? Yeah, yummy. You barely touched your spinach. I'm savoring it. Meanwhile, his friend's little brother, who's staring at him, says, you eat weird. What? He survives breakfast. barely. He sticks around for a little bit and then he wants to go home, but by this time it's 3 p.m. They ask him if he wants to play a board game. Guess he doesn't want to make his friend feel bad, so he says yes. But the game was Monopoly, the longest game ever. So he's playing Monopoly, and he's starting to get real antsy. He's got to go. He's texting his mom, please come pick me up. It's an emergency. 6 p.m., ding, his mom texts him, here. He grabs his backpack. All right, guys, thanks for having me. My mom's out front. And his friend starts shaking. Wait, you're leaving? Yeah, man, it's Sunday night. But I thought we'd hang out all week. Bro, we got school tomorrow. And then his friend starts crying. But you're my best friend. You're my best friend. I know, man. I know. All right, see you guys. He gets into the car and says to himself, never again. Black markets kids ran in their schools. One day, some kids realized that if you lightly stepped on a bee in the grass, it would temporarily stun the bee without killing it. So a couple of them got a crazy idea. Every day during recess, they would go out into the grass and scout for bees. Then they would stun them and scoop a bunch of bees into plastic Ziploc bags. They would then sell these bags of bees to other students so they can take them to class and release them, which would scare people and waste time. They sold these bee bags for 25 cents each. Teachers and school administration noticed this and started cracking down on it. Every day, they were confiscating plastic bags with live bees in them from tons of students. Eventually, they had somebody outside every day at recess to stop anyone from catching these bees and selling them. One day, this group of middle schoolers decided they're going to start a band. They got a rusty drum set, a broken amp, and one kid with a guitar who only knows like 2 chords. Well, here's what they did. They made flyers, and they put them around the school. Live garage concert, $1 admission, and they put the address. Well, after school, kids start showing up to this garage. The first day it was like 10 people, and these guys come out like they're freaking rock stars. What's up, everybody? What's up? You ready for a concert? And the people are like, yeah, sure, I guess. Just play something. And they launch into their one song. Garage music! Garage music! And it ends. That's it. Play something else. But they don't know anything else, so they just played the song again. Garage music! Garage music! And those kids left pissed off. But the thing is, people kept coming back every single week and paying the entry fee just so they could boo this band. Garage music! You guys frickin' suck! Yeah, you guys stink! Every time there was a garage concert, these students would bring different foods to throw at them. And the band, they didn't really care. Because they're making $15 to $20 a show for only like a minute of music. Hey, gotta respect the hustle. Every neighborhood has that one house, yard where baseballs, frisbees, and dog toys go to die. The guy who lived there is creepy, angry, staring through the windows. Hey, go get the ball. Let's just go inside. Just like that, most kids accept the loss and they go buy a new one. But this one kid, he saw a gap in the market. What's up? He memorized the perimeter of this fenced yard. He knew the holes, the gaps, and he bought a very long pole. He has a 10-foot pole with a high grip claw at the end of it. And he started an extraction service. He pulls up with his bike and the pole like it's a jousting stick. All right, what is it? Baseball? Frisbee? It's my dog's favorite beaver toy. Okay. Do you know where it is? No. That's fine. I'll use my drone. He had a drone with a camera so he could see above the yard to where the thing that needs to be extracted is. And then he would get to work. Okay, it's at this corner right here. I have the pole. Go through the gap. Is he watching? No. Got it. But he didn't do it for free. Depending on where in the yard it was, it could be $5, $10, or if the old man was right there watching, $20 because of the risk. But people usually paid. He didn't make bank, per se, but he made some good money, and he was a hero to a lot of neighborhood kids. One month he made $100 just by getting things that people were too scared to get themselves. I'd say it's a fair business, because there's no way the old man would ever give those things back, because he's just crazy like that. And so I say, gotta respect the hustle. Black markets kids ran in their schools. At one school, this kid made and sold delicious cookies. Everybody loved them. But then the school made a very strict rule that students cannot sell anything during school hours. So he had to start selling his cookies secretly. It was difficult, but he kept going and people kept buying them. But one day, a teacher caught him in the act of selling cookies. The teacher told the principal, and the principal called the cops. The cops then came into school and confiscated all of his Tupperware full of cookies. That's absolutely ridiculous. People who got incredibly lucky. This guy and his girlfriend bought a board game from a thrift store, but when they opened the board game, they found a bunch of this old jewelry. They got it appraised, and apparently this jewelry was
was worth thousands of dollars. That's insane. This guy accidentally shot his TV with an arrow, but the arrow went right into the HDMI spot, and the TV still worked. But my question is, why was he shooting an arrow in the house? Sus. This person bought an ice cream cone from a gas station, and when they opened it up, there was 2 in there. That would be the best day ever. Before I get to the craziest one, this app lets you go live even if you have 0 followers. Go right here to get it. Back in the day, this guy's grandpa was shot, but luckily he had these 6 coins in his front pocket, which absolutely saved his life. People's worst fast food experiences. One day he was hungry, so he drove to McDonald's. He went inside and ordered himself a McChicken. He sat down and started diving in. Well, about halfway through the McChicken, his stomach started feeling terrible. He immediately realized that something was completely wrong with the sandwich. Well, he couldn't hold it in anymore. He went to the McDonald's bathroom and started puking his brains out. Once he finally stopped, all he wanted was to get the heck out of that McDonald's. But when he went outside, he realized that his car had been stolen. That sucks.
It was lunchtime. Everyone is sitting on the lunch tables. It's pretty packed. And well, a chain reaction starts. The one where you punch someone in the shoulder and you say, pass it on. Pass it on. Pass it on. There's laughter, everybody's playing along. The row across for them sees this and then they join in as well. Well, it gets to this one kid. Pass it on. He bursts into tears. He's ugly crying. He's wailing so loud the whole cafeteria is staring at him. He bolts out of the lunchroom and goes straight to the office. No. You have to do something. He assaulted my son. I promise you we're gonna get to the bottom of this, okay? No, my son was assaulted. We demand expulsion. Cut to the kid being called into the office. Hey, I met with the kid's parents and the school board. I'm giving you a 120-day expulsion. Wait, for real? It was a game. Everybody was playing. Shut your mouth. 120 days. Even some of the kids that were at the table tried to go to the principal's office to explain that, yo, this was actually a harmless game and everybody was playing. That kid is just being a baby. But he didn't listen. And that kid was expelled for 120 days. And here's the worst part. After 120 days, he was allowed to come back. But if he messed up one time by even getting a detention, they would put him on a permanent expulsion. That's kind of messed up. Every school has a mystery. This one had a poopatrator. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's what they called him. Someone was sneaking into the bathrooms and smearing, not tagging, not vandalizing, straight up finger painting on the stalls with poop. There's been another Code Brown. I repeat, there's been another Code Brown. That's literally what they called this. It was a real phrase, a real alert. The janitor would sigh, grab his gloves, and head in. One day, a kid opens the stall and he freezes. It's art. A whole drawing smeared on the stall door. A sun drawn in the corner. A flower in the middle. A barn with a horse outside of it on the left side. All smeared in human feces. Look, dude, why is it actually good? Like, it was actually impressive. Nobody knew who was doing this, but after weeks of chaos, they caught him, brown-handed. They caught him in the act, mid-sketch. Turns out he did this every time he went number 2. He got expelled after that. And for 2 years after that, to try to avoid copycats, they had people monitoring the bathrooms at all times. All because of one poop Picasso. That's crazy. These kids are insane. The circus was in town for this one weekend. And back behind one of the tents, tied to a little metal post, was a llama. Friendly, calm, just chilling there, tied to the post. Dude, look at the llama. I like him. Let's call him Serge. Hey, Serge, wanna go for a quick walk? Dude, no. They weren't trying to steal him. They were just trying to get a picture of them walking Serge. So they undid Serge from the post, walked him around a little bit, and tried to put him back. But here's the thing. Serge didn't want to be put back. He kept following these kids around like he'd known them for years. Dude, Serge is following us. Bro, he's like our friend now. So they started walking him around the frickin' town. They brought him to the convenience store, strolled him through the town center, and then they said, dude, let's try to get him on the bus. Yes. They walk a literal llama onto the public transportation. The bus driver was like, I don't get paid enough for this. Just sit down as long as you pay for the llama. They rode the whole bus line with the llama on there. Bro, look at Serge. Dude, he's loving this. Crazy thing is the circus didn't even realize the llama was gone until one of the workers of the circus saw multiple Snapchats from multiple people around the town who had taken a picture of Serge. But before anybody could freak out too much, the kids walked the llama back to the circus and tied him up. All right, Serge, it's been a great day. It's been the best day of my life. And that was it. No harm to the llama, no damage to the circus. It was the most peaceful llama kidnapping in the history of the world. beautiful. This class was visiting colleges. They were all on a bus to visit one of these local colleges. Well, this junior was sitting by his girlfriend. Now, these two had been dating forever. Everyone knew them as that couple. But halfway through the bus ride, Kevin, we gotta talk. She breaks up with him on the bus. I can't do this anymore. You're an embarrassment to me. I have bigger things I want to do with my life. And you're going to hold me back. I'm done. We are done. Oof. And he's just taking it. He finally stops talking and he's just sitting there staring out the window. 5 minutes go by. Then he quietly stands up, lowers the window gap as far as it'll go, shimmies his way out, and jumps out of the bus while it's moving. The bus is going 35 miles per hour on the highway. Everyone's panicking. Stop the bus! Stop the bus! Oh my god, he jumped! What happened? Well, I broke up with him. He said he didn't want to be on this trip with me, and he jumped out the window. So, not my fault. Now, this kid was fine. When he jumped out, he landed on this big pile of grass on the side of the highway. Just some scrapes and bruises. But when he landed, he just stood up and just ran into the woods. Full sprint. Backpack on and everything. They had to call his parents. His parents came to the side of the road where the bus was at. Staff was sent into the woods to go find him, and they found him, sitting by a creek on a log, crying softly to himself. Hey buddy, you okay? I loved her so much. Leave me here. Leave me here. This is the craziest bus ride ever. This happened on a 5th grade farm field trip. Middle of nowhere, long bus ride, bumpy roads. Kid in the front goes, "Ma'am, are we almost there?" "About 10 miles away, class. Hang tight." Then boom, glass explodes. Something smashes through the windshield. Kids are crying. The driver yells, "It's a bird! It's a big bird!" The teacher looks down and it's a full-grown turkey. Dead. Feathers, blood, just laying there on the aisle of the bus. Okay, nobody panic. Nobody touched the turkey. She grabs a binder and she scoots this giant dead turkey towards the back of the bus by the door. She then opens the back door of the bus and kicks this turkey as hard as she can like a soccer ball. Okay, everybody off the bus, line up against this fence. Head count, please. The kids are still shaking. There's feathers in their hair. Because when she kicked the bird, it kind of exploded a bit. Really traumatic. The new bus will be here in 20 minutes, okay? And she's all calm like she's done this before. The trip was canceled, obviously. When the new bus got there, they all got in and they just went back to the school. But the smell of turkey death lingered on them for hours. From now on, you sit here by yourself. I hate my life. This kid was 10 years old, the smartest kid in class. He aced every test, every assignment, but he was also super funny. Everybody loved him. And you see, the classrooms were set up like this. Round tables, and each table had like 5 people at it. Well, in this class, everybody wanted this kid at their table because he was just such a good time. That is until one day the teacher deemed him too distracting. She pulled him away from his 5 friends and made him sit in a desk facing the wall at the back of the room. Sit down. And he was the only one back there. The rest of the class were sitting in their groups. Group projects, he worked alone. He wasn't allowed to talk. Week after week, he kept thinking, surely I'll be moved back to my table soon. But the teacher never let him. And slowly, he could feel the gap building. His friends got closer with each other and farther from him. That desk in the corner became his life. For 10 months. A punishment that was supposed to last a week lasted for 10 months. And that is not fair. This kid started a war at the zoo. 5th grade field trip to the zoo. Everyone's hyped. The teacher's already stressed. You know, they get to the primate exhibit. The absolute best exhibit in any frickin' zoo. Alright, class, hands to yourselves, please. Let's respect the facility and the gorillas, okay? There's this one kid. You know, that kid. He picks up a stick and launches it into the gorilla exhibit. Well, the stick lands on the ground right next to a full-grown silverback gorilla. The gorilla turns, sees the kid, grabs the stick, and throws it back. Smack! The stick explodes across this kid's chin. He drops, screaming, blood's everywhere. Chaos. This class is freaking out, teachers are screaming, and then the rest of the gorillas show up, all gathered on the other side of the fence right next to this class. They just rolled in like backup, and they're all just smacking the ground. You know, they're all angry. And it's gotta be horrifying for these kids. They're yelling, they're pounding the glass. This is gonna kill me! They're gonna kill me! What is going on? Well, the pounding on the glass alerted the orangutans, who were on just the other side of this exhibit. And they roll in like backup as well. So now it's like a dozen silverback gorillas, a dozen orangutans, all just pounding the glass in the ground on the other side of this class on a field trip. Dear God, That's when the gorillas and the orangutans start pooping in their hand and chucking the poop at the glass. Back to the buses. Now. The zoo staff swarms in from all sides. They shut this entire thing down. The exhibit is closed for the rest of the day. 30 minutes later, the school's banned from the zoo for life. And the kid who got the stick thrown at him left in an ambulance. He had to get stitches. That is absolutely insane.
The worst products of all time. This is WhatsApp cologne. I just want to know who made this. And what does it smell like? I'm not sure what this product is, but what happened here? Somebody definitely got fired for this. This is a pants table. It's obviously terrifying. I would get it, but imagine if that thing suddenly just started walking towards you. Oh. I've seen this around, but I don't know anybody that's ever bought one. It's a cat brush that you put in your mouth. I guess it makes your cat feel like you're licking them. These are chargeable shoes that have a USB outlet on it, so you can walk and charge your phone from your shoes. And this is a 3D printed octopus that has the head of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I actually want this. Somebody get me this.
It started at lunch one day when this kid pulled out a Ziploc bag of perfectly peeled orange slices. It was clean, cold citrus. Immediately, the kid next to him goes, "Yo, can I have one?" "Yeah, for $1." The next day, he brings 2 bags. The day after that, he brings 5 bags. He starts charging people $1 per baggie. And people actually pay. Business was absolutely booming. He calls it the Fresh Citrus Company. And he draws his logo on each Ziploc bag with a Sharpie. It's an orange with sunglasses on. Within a couple weeks, business was booming so much that he was bringing these unpeeled oranges to school, and he had hired 2 other students to help him peel them throughout the day. He had trained them on how to peel because part of his business was having the perfectly peeled orange slices. He called these guys his citrus team, and he split some of the profits with them. But it all ends when a teacher pulls him aside and tells him that he has to stop.
"You aren't allowed to sell food on school grounds unless approved by the district. You're shut down."
He challenged this, but then the principal got involved and it was kind of a whole thing, so the business was shut down. That day, he got together with his citrus team. They each had one last slice together, and they went their separate ways. "It's been an honor, team. I will peel oranges for you anytime. Godspeed." Godspeed. You gotta respect the hustle. It's a Saturday afternoon. This mom's at the park with her 2 kids when her neighbor drives up. "Hi, can you watch my kids for just like 10 minutes? I have to run to the grocery store." "Yeah, sure. Just 10 minutes, right?" "Yes, 10 minutes tops, and I'll come pick them up right back here." Well, 10 minutes turn into 2 hours. They're at the park still. Her kids and her neighbor's kids exhausted. Everybody wants to go home. No sign of the mom. No texts, nothing. She's not answering her calls. "Hold on, kids. I'm just trying to get a hold of your mom. She's not picking up. Come on." Well, now it's getting dark, and they can't just keep staying at the park. So she takes her kids and her neighbor's kids in her car, and she drives to the neighbor's house. She pulls up in the neighbor's driveway, and there's her neighbor's car, parked. What the heck? The lights are on inside the house. She grabs the kids, goes up to the front door and knocks. The neighbor opens the door, holding a bag of popcorn, and the TV was on. "Oh, thanks for bringing them back. Have a great day. Come on, kids." What the heck? No thank you, no apology, just shuts the door. And that's when the mom realized her neighbor never had to go to the store. She just wanted time off from her kids. That's messed up. A freezing rainstorm hits overnight. Morning comes, and every single porch on the block is a sheet of ice. People are stepping outside trying to go to work, but they're slipping all over the place.